Assalamualaikum and hi, I'm Shira, and today I would like to introduce about Airbnb. So what is Airbnb? Airbnb is a community-based online platform for listing and renting local homes. It connects hosts and travelers and facilitates the process of renting without owning any rooms itself. Moreover, it cultivates a sharing economy by allowing property owners to rent out their private flats. For your information, Airbnb was founded by Brian Chesky, Nathan Berjezek, and Joe Gabia. Airbnb has employees with 5,465 and its headquarters are situated at San Francisco, California. Around the worldwide, Airbnb active listing has 5.6 million with 100,000 cities and more than 220 countries and regions. In addition, Airbnb outstanding revenue in 2019 is $4.8 billion. Wow, amazing! In 2007, Joe and Brian could not afford to pay rent, so they decided to turn their living space into a room, and their first guest showed up and paid $80. So they soon realized how big their idea could be. So in 2008, Airbed and Breakfast website launches and get 80 bookings and officially changed its name to Airbnb in 2009. Since that, Airbnb has grown and expanded so fast year by year. Unfortunately, due to the emergence of COVID-19 pandemic, Airbnb are struggling in their business. However, Airbnb does not sit quietly. In 2020, they launched online experience, enhanced the cleaning protocol, and launched frontline stays.
As the COVID-19 pandemic continues, many businesses lost in revenue or closed, including travel and tourism industry that may be impacted. Recently, tourism has seen a slow forces change in the positive direction, with some travel restrictions starting to be lifted in a few countries. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, travel industry has been forced to close, from flights to cruises to lodging. So what has impacted to Airbnb due to this crisis? First is financial impact. In 2020, the total revenue of Airbnb worldwide has reached $2.52 billion in US dollar. Airbnb has lost to $575.6 million in the second quarter, compared to a loss of almost $3 million during the same period 1 year before. This was a decrease that followed years of growth, with the revenue in 2020 just over half of the revenue of the previous year. So, the data shows the year-over-year change in short-term rental reservation or Airbnb due to the coronavirus pandemic in the first quarter of 2020 by week. The revenue was keep decreasing in the following years of growth, with just over half of the revenue of the previous year. This was likely due to the coronavirus, which caused travel disruption across the globe. As a result, companies such as Airbnb are now coping with the virus damaging effects. These revenue losses have led 41% of hosts to supplement their income with another job or revenue stream for the time being. Now look at the data again. In the first week of 2020, there were 18% less Airbnb short-term rental reservation than the previous year. By week 2, the company received more bookings than in 2019, then the figure rising to 4% more year-over-year reservation. However, this growth did continue, and in week 14 of 2020, short-term rental bookings on Airbnb platform saw 95% drop over the previous year as a result of the pandemic. In addition, hosts also have dropped their daily rates as much as $90 on average. Second is human rights issue. As the coronavirus swept the globe and forced people to cancel their travel plans for the summer, Airbnb CEO Brian Chesky announced the layoff in an email to all workers. The revenue in May of 2020 that declined more than 50% during the year had caused him to cut costs, which led him to let almost 25% of the total of his employees. The firm is also halting expenditure in areas that do not support its core business, such as transportation and a studio that will create unique travel-related entertainment, since Airbnb doesn't know when travel will return after the pandemic ends. So what happened to Airbnb clients? Of course, 47% of hosts don't feel safe renting to guests, while 70% of guests are fearful to stay at Airbnb. Plus, sharing economic accommodation can be dangerous since the COVID may be spread from person to person through touch. Therefore, due to the pandemic, 37% of hosts believe that guests will return this fall. Why? By sharing service provided may perceive the risk regarding using a sharing lodging service, especially during the pandemic. So what do you think? What Airbnb will do to solve this problem?
When There is issue, there are solutions. So how Airbnb can overcome the issues? Here's some tips and tricks. First, Airbnb has showed us that this company is really creative. They use their creatively led to introduce new alternatives in surviving during pandemic COVID-19 outbreak. The company introduced online experiences. Online experiences are hosted on Zoom, where it's a third-party cloud platform for video conferencing and can be used on desktop, computer, tablet, and mobile devices, where it offers more than 400 options for guests to choose from. It has become the company's fastest growing product. What makes online experiences differ from in-person experiences? First is quality standard. Online experiences must meet the quality standard but also additional requirement. Second, guest reviews. Guests only have 30 days to write a review after an experience, either leave a private feedback for their host and public feedback for future guests. Third, underpricing online experiences are priced per person by default. If a host opens for multiple guests joining per device, guests should know that they only need to book one spot on their experience and the page what you'll do and how to participate. Last is refunds. For online experiences, guests are eligible for full refund if they are having any difficulties in technical such as audio, video issues that occur either due to their own devices and host devices. Secondly, Airbnb really cares about their customers and hosts. How they solve the issues is by taking care of the hygiene and safety services. According to the Airbnb news website stated that the company has introduced enhanced cleaning during the pandemic COVID-19. There are 5 steps involved in this alternative, which are: first, prepare. Involve with ventilate the space, use disinfectants, read the direction and warnings, and wash or disinfect hands or masks. Second is clean. Involve with sweep, vacuum, dust, and/or mop areas, wash all the dishes, and wipe down hard surfaces. Third is sanitize. Involve with spray high-touch surfaces like disinfectant, stand for the length time of period specified, and then air dry the surfaces. Fourth is check. Involve with make sure all the areas are cleaned and sanitized, and then share those requirements with host team or cleaning professional. Lastly is reset. Involve with wash hand and replace gloves before. Safely dispose or wash. Don't re-enter the room that has sanitized and empty and clean the equipment after use. For these 5 steps can secure safety guests and hosts. Also, hygiene does lessen the possibility for the virus actively spread through living.
Sorry. Shall we continue with the latest chapter that can be related with Airbnb case? So after we analyze, the most related chapter that can be related with Airbnb case is chapter 12. This is because there is an organizational intervention that has been done by Airbnb. So first thing first, what is organizational interventions? Organizational interventions are structured programs designed to solve a problem, thus enabling an organization to achieve the goals. Now let's move on with chapter 12. It is most related with this case because Airbnb has made a change in their business model. So in general, business model is a plan for the successful operation of the business. In order for managing daily operations, Airbnb need to respond to the current pandemic by adapting or modifying their value provided to the user of the platform. The pandemic required business model adaptations that were communicated by the investigated platform on their website, such as implementing flexible contracts, written policies, or cancellations. To further explain, Airbnb has no longer collect any fees from the cancelled reservations as a result of the pandemic. The company is also exploring the possibility of long-term home rental as a way for hosts to secure the income from their idling properties.
So, what I can conclude is this assignment has allowed us to explore a new and greater point of view about the needs of organizational development, especially during times of crisis. Airbnb has faced several issues, but where there is a problem, certainly there is a solution. We know that Airbnb has successfully implemented organizational development. As a result, Airbnb has managed to sustain its place and remain competitive with its rivals. Airbnb should provide better trip protection. VRBO guests can add travel protection insurance to the travel booking. If they are traveling with pets or children, they can purchase damage protection insurance to avoid any extra charges. Furthermore, VRBO offers Book with Confidence guarantee, which comes with a 24/7 emergency phone number and payment protection.